Hey everyone, I'm Domingo Gomez and this is the iPhone 15, which I do believe is the best iPhone of the year. Although I still think it's quite underwhelming, but after trying out the iPhone 15 Pro Max and having gone back to this one, the truth is that it feels like going back to the iPhone 14 Pro. It might not have the same camera design, but in the hand it feels very compact, and with slightly curvier edges and a much lighter weight, it feels nicer to hold. But hey, it has the same processor, a much better 48 megapixel sensor, not to mention USB-C. And this is perhaps the main reason why so many people will choose the iPhone 15 over the 14 Pro. It has no advantage when it comes to charging since it's still slow, nor when transferring files to the PC because it's USB 2.0. But the convenience of using the same cable for several devices, it's the most important thing. Now, should we consider this as an advantage in the middle of 2023? I don't think so. Another controversial issue with the iPhone 15 is its screen, which unfortunately is still at 60 Hz, and not being LPTO, it also lacks the always-on display, something we did have with the iPhone 14 Pro. But even so, the screen still looks amazing with great brightness and good colors. But again, 60 Hz in the middle of 2023 is something that not even Android phones have. Even so, my experience has been very similar to that of the 14 Pro, and I think that is due to two reasons. The first is the dynamic island, since if you see them side by side, there's almost no visual difference. And the second reason is its excellent performance, which, sharing the same processor and 6GB of RAM, it will give you top of the range experience. So it not might be as smooth when scrolling, but since it's a fast phone anyway, even with 60 Hz, it will feel fluid. Another thing to consider with this screen is that, well, you will also have a better battery life, which in my case, it has lasted me a day and a half without any issue. But here we go again, 128 GB of storage for a phone that costs this much. It shouldn't happen in 2023. There's no doubt that this is a trimmed down light iPhone 14 Pro, and objectively a worse phone, but it's necessary to sell the Pro versions because if Apple continued to sell the iPhone 15 Pro in its store, no one would buy the iPhone 15. The last demonstration on how this is true is in its cameras. As I told you before, this new iPhone 15 has a new 48 megapixel sensor that gives us 24 megapixel photos with very good quality. Come on, side by side with the iPhone 14 Pro, they're almost indistinguishable. But as soon as you switch to the wide-angle camera, we see that with the iPhone 15 Pro we have a macro photos, not to mention its third telephoto lens. So we do have some important hardware limitation, but also in the firmware, since we still can take raw photos and we don't have ProRes either. Having said all this, the iPhone 14 Pro is a better option for the same price as the iPhone 15, and that's why, well, this one is a bit of a disappointment. However, if we look at it objectively, it's still a great phone. It has a good design with a good looking screen, very good performance, and very capable cameras. What happens is that it lacks certain features that it should not in 2023. For a user who has an iPhone 12 or older, or someone that is looking for the best value iPhone and doesn't care about the Pro features, well, this one is a great option, especially because of the USB-C. But anyway, that's just my opinion, and if you have a different one, you can leave it at the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao!